Georgia's timber industry, it's still struggling to recover from Hurricane Helene. And will for a very long time. Meteorologist Danielle Moss is showing us as mill closures across the state create new challenges for loggers, landowners, and entire communities already trying to rebuild.
For Georgia's timber industry, recovery from Hurricane Helene was never going to be easy. But what began as a natural disaster has now become an economic one. 4 paper and pulp mills, once the backbone of Georgia's wood market, have closed their doors in the last year. And with that, the loss of more than 1,600 direct jobs. The ripple effects will reach far beyond the mills, touching loggers, truck drivers, small-town diners, gas stations, and even local schools. Altogether, the losses could strip more than $500 million from the state's labor income.
Many of these rural communities are still overcoming huge financial burdens from cleaning up from Helene. Some of them are still waiting on federal reimbursements from cleanup. Some are having to find ways to pay for the cleanup so they can produce an invoice or a receipt, rather, to turn into FEMA to get their money back, and they don't have the money to operate on.
Even before these closures, Helene had already leveled forest and shattered generations of work. But in the wake of that disaster, there was still a goal, still a reason to rebuild.
That resiliency was driven by the idea that we had a purpose to plant, and that purpose was we've got a market to go to.
Now, that purpose is slipping away.
When you wake up and you find out your mills are gone and there is nothing to look forward to from a market, once you clean up and replant and you manage a piece of property, that just kind of takes your heart out.
Chad Nimmer says across Georgia, as many as 100 logging crews once fueled by those mills now sit idle. Some forced to sell their equipment, others waiting and wondering what comes next.
You have this timber, a lot of it you're trying to salvage from Hurricane Helene. You're hearing about these paper mills closing. What's next?
We don't have anywhere to take it. That's the harsh reality. There's only so far you can transport wood before it becomes into a net negative.
Without mills, there's no buyers. And without a buyer, many landowners are questioning whether to even replant.
Why? Why would I? If I clean up, invest the money, and put a tree back in the dirt, what am I going to do with it in 20 years? And we don't know the answer to that as an industry yet.
Still, in the midst of uncertainty, there's a quiet determination to keep going.
Like every time we wake up, we're scared to check an email, or read a text thread, or not really know what's going to be the next bad news. But, you know, you still find hope. You find groups coming together and working hard and trying to figure out what are new markets, new technology, what is something we haven't discovered.
But that hope is fragile, and the clock is ticking.
I don't know that if we started today and let's say it took 2 to 3 years to develop a new market that could replace a percentage of what we've lost, the current supply chain won't be there.
And as the industry looks for answers, one question remains. Can Georgia's timber economy survive long enough to rebuild?